Colonel Vrathkon stood 8 feet tall, his exoskeleton gleaming under the harsh lights of the command deck. His 4 eyes narrowed as he observed the human female standing before him, her frame barely reaching his chest plate. She wore the standard-issue combat gear of the Terran Defense Force, her designation patch reading Captain Sarah Chen. "This is what Earth sends?" Vrathkon's mandibles clicked in what his species considered laughter. A fragile creature made of soft tissue and brittle bone? The Galactic Council had mandated joint operations after humanity's recent admission to the interstellar community. Vrathkon's Apex Guard, the most feared Special Forces unit in 3 sectors, now had to babysit a human observer. The thought curdled his blood. "I'm here to learn your tactics, Colonel," Sarah said, her voice steady despite the obvious contempt radiating from the alien commander. "Tactics?" Vrathkon leaned down, his breath hot and metallic. "My Apex Guards are bred for war, genetically enhanced, trained from hatching with exoskeletons that can withstand plasma fire. You mammals still bleed when cut. What could you possibly teach us?" Sarah said nothing. She'd heard it all before. From the Centauri diplomats, the Corvan trade ministers, every species that looked at humanity's soft skin and assumed weakness. The mission briefing was simple. Infiltrate the abandoned mining station on Kepler 442b and eliminate the Ravager hive that had nested there. Ravagers were nightmares made flesh, insectoid predators with acid blood and an appetite for any organic matter. They'd wiped out 3 colonies before the Galactic Council had learned to take them seriously. Vrathkon's team consisted of 12 Apex Guards, each one a mountain of armored muscle and weaponry. Sarah was given a position at the rear, for her safety, as the colonel had put it with barely concealed mockery. The mining station's corridors were dark, illuminated only by their tactical lights. The Apex Guards moved with surprising grace for their size, weapons trained on every shadow. Sarah followed silently, her own rifle held in a relaxed grip that spoke of countless hours of training. The first Ravager came without warning, dropping from a ventilation shaft onto the lead guard. Its scythe-like claws found the weak points in his armor within seconds. The guard's scream cut off as acid blood ate through his helmet. "Formation Delta!" Vrathkon roared, and his team responded with military precision. Plasma fire lit up the corridor as Ravagers poured from every opening. The creatures moved like liquid death, too fast, too many. A second guard went down, then a third. These weren't ordinary Ravagers, they were soldiers, coordinated and intelligent. Sarah watched as a 4th guard was dragged into the darkness, his screams echoing long after he disappeared. "Fall back," Vrathkon commanded, but the Ravagers had cut off their retreat. His remaining guards formed a circle, firing in all directions, but their ammunition was depleting fast. Then Sarah moved. She didn't run to the center of the defensive circle. She ran forward toward the largest concentration of Ravagers. Vrathkon watched in horror, certain he was about to witness a human death. Sarah slid beneath a Ravager's strike, her combat knife flashing. But she wasn't trying to kill it. She was analyzing it. She dodged another attack, rolled, came up firing. Not wild spray and pray, but precise shots at joints, sensory organs, and gaps in the chitinous armor. "They're hunting pack predators," Sarah shouted over the chaos. "They're trying to separate and overwhelm us. Tighten formation and focus fire on the alphas, the ones with red markings." Vrathkon's tactical mind caught up. She was right. The Ravagers weren't attacking randomly. They were executing a strategy. He barked orders, redirecting his guards' fire to the marked alphas. The effect was immediate. Without their leaders, the Ravagers' coordination collapsed. But there were still too many, and the Apex Guards were tiring. Sarah didn't tire. That's what Vrathkon noticed first. While his enhanced warriors flagged under the sustained combat, the human kept moving with the same intensity. Dodge, fire, roll, strike. She wasn't stronger than the Ravagers, wasn't faster, wasn't more durable. But she was relentless. A Ravager lunged at Vrathkon's exposed flank. He was too slow, his weapon pointed the wrong direction. Sarah intercepted it mid-leap, using the creature's own momentum to drive her knife through its neural cluster. She took the acid spray across her shoulder, her armor smoking, but she didn't scream. "Sir, movement behind us," one of the guards called out. Sarah was already there, having somehow anticipated the flanking attack. She'd grabbed a fallen guard's plasma rifle and was laying down suppressive fire that forced the Ravagers back into a kill zone. The battle lasted 17 minutes. When it ended, 4 Apex Guards lay dead and the rest were wounded. Sarah had 3 acid burns, a fractured rib and a gash across her forehead that bled into her eyes. Vrathcon stared at her as medics worked on his troops. How was all he could manage. Sarah wiped blood from her face. We're not bred for war, Colonel. We're not genetically enhanced. We don't have exoskeletons or redundant organs. She met his 4 eyes with her too. But we evolved on a death world where everything wanted to kill us. We learned to hunt animals stronger than us, survive predators faster than us, and outlast creatures that should have wiped us out. We learned that strength isn't about what you're born with. It's about what you refuse to give up. She shouldered her rifle and started walking toward the exit. You asked what I could teach you? Lesson 1, never mistake adaptability for weakness. Lesson 2, humans don't stop. Vrathcon watched her go, this small, bleeding, supposedly fragile creature who had saved his entire unit. For the first time in his military career, the colonel felt something he'd never experienced on a battlefield. He felt humbled. Back on the command ship, Vrathcon filed his report. In the section marked Human Combat Assessment, he wrote only 4 words: request more human advisors. The Galactic Council would read those words and understand. Humanity had passed its first test, not because they were the strongest, fastest, or most advanced species in the galaxy, but because when death came screaming in the dark, humans screamed back louder. End